So this is one I think is really important. Number 10 is you've got to update your status. You got to tell people what you're up to, what's going on, but you don't want to talk about what did you have for lunch. I mean, we all have been overrun on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram with pictures of people's burritos. And I'll tell you what, I love a good burrito, but when it comes to LinkedIn, I don't care that you had a great burrito for lunch, unless you happen to be a burrito manufacturing company or a restaurant. That might be different. But for most of us, LinkedIn really should be business related updates. And I have found that if you update your status every 2 or 3 times a week, you don't need to do it every day. I have been doing it every day during this crisis because there's so many different things I'm working on that affect my clients that I've been doing a little bit more than I normally do. But in regular times, about twice a week, maybe 3 times, I'll do an update status. And that status might be talking about the fact that I just spoke at a large conference with 1,000 people in the retail industry. And I'll just talk a little bit about what I do, but I always try to make there be advice in there for other people. Most of the times, I'm highlighting things in my status that is something people can benefit from. So maybe it's this whole idea around social tightening in a world where we're social distancing and giving people tips of how they can take it to their team when they're doing Zoom calls to make sure they're keeping in touch more as humans than just as coworkers who have to log on to a silly call every day. So I'll put advice out there. Sometimes it's a little bit about who I am and what I do. Sometimes it's just ideas for others. But if you're not putting things out there, you're not showing up at all in people's LinkedIn algorithm. And here's the problem. I think algorithms have killed social media. I remember 15, 18 years ago when LinkedIn and Facebook and these companies first appeared. If I followed Elizabeth and I followed Kristen and I followed Hannah and I followed Ben, every time they would post, I would see what they posted. What has happened now is the algorithm is deciding who I want to see, and they're making those decisions based on who's posting and how I'm reacting to people. I don't necessarily love the way they do it, but if you're not posting, nobody can react, then they'll never see you when you do post.
And here's a secret little thing. You can go in and post, but make sure you also go back in and like the people you want to really keep in your inner circle so that they keep showing up.
Elizabeth and I have been friends and we've worked together for years. And we found out the other day that we're not showing up in each other's LinkedIn and Facebook as much as we'd like. So we both went in and liked each other's posts for like the last week. And all of a sudden, when I log in, there's Elizabeth. So if you want to see somebody, make sure you're liking their stuff. But also, if you have people in the business world who you're close with, make a deal with each other that you will like and comment on each other, because then they will see your status as well.
Especially important with making sure you keep in touch with your referral network, because
Mhm.
this is highly critical if your business is dependent on referrals.
But if you never post, it's almost like you're not even there. So you really should be posting. And some people who are a little more pulled back, a little more reserved, I say, okay, once a week is fine. If you're a little bit more outgoing, 3 times, 4 times a week is fine. But you don't want to be under, just like you don't want to overpost. We all have those friends on Twitter who every time you log on, there's 9,000 things. You don't want to overpost. You also don't want to underpost.